In the winter of 1959, a group of young explorers set out on what should have been an ordinary hiking expedition in the freezing mountains of the Ural Mountains. They were experienced, they were prepared, but within days all 9 of them would be dead. And the way they died would become one of the most disturbing mysteries in modern history. The expedition was led by a skilled young student named Igor Dyatlov. He and his team were students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute. Their goal was ambitious, to complete a difficult winter trek across a remote mountain called Kholat Syakhl. The mountain's name in the local Mansi language meant something eerie, Dead Mountain. On January 27, 1959, the group began their journey. They laughed, they took photographs, they wrote cheerful notes in their journals. Nothing seemed wrong. But after February 1st, all communication stopped. When the hikers failed to return on schedule, a search team was sent into the mountains. What they discovered would shock the entire Soviet Union. Rescuers eventually found the hikers' tent buried under snow, but something about it was deeply disturbing. The tent had been cut open from the inside, not unzipped, cut. It looked like the hikers had panicked and escaped in a hurry. Even stranger, they had fled barefoot or wearing only socks, despite temperatures reaching -30 degrees Celsius or -22 degrees Fahrenheit. Why would ordinary hikers run into a deadly blizzard without proper clothing? Investigators followed the footprints leading away from the tent. The tracks showed something very strange. The hikers had walked calmly down the mountain, not running, not chased, just walking quietly into the darkness. About 1.5 kilometers away, searchers discovered the first 2 bodies. They were lying near a small fire under a tree. Both had died from severe hypothermia. Their hands were burned, suggesting they had tried desperately to stay warm. But the mystery was only beginning. When the other bodies were discovered months later, investigators were shocked. Some hikers had massive internal injuries, broken ribs, crushed skulls, yet there were no external wounds that explained such damage. It looked like the force of a car crash had struck them. But there was no vehicle, no explosion, nothing. And then came the most disturbing discovery. One victim was missing her tongue. Tests on some of the hikers' clothing revealed high levels of radiation. Why would ordinary hikers be contaminated with radiation? No one could explain it. For decades, investigators and scientists have proposed many theories. Some believed an avalanche forced the hikers to flee, but the slope was too gentle and there were no avalanche signs. Another theory suggests the hikers accidentally witnessed a secret Soviet military experiment. Some witnesses reported seeing mysterious glowing orbs in the sky that night. Some scientists believe unusual wind patterns triggered sudden panic, but this theory still doesn't explain the severe injuries. Others believe the hikers encountered something we still don't understand, something that forced them out into the freezing night. More than 60 years later, the truth about the Dyatlov Pass incident remains unknown. 9 experienced hikers, a torn tent, unexplainable injuries, and a freezing mountain that still keeps its secrets. The silent slopes of the Kholat Syakhl have never revealed what truly happened that night, and perhaps they never will.